Sir Isaac Newton, the legendary scientist, formulated the laws of motion, one of which is that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Another way of thinking about this is that every action has a consequence, and with the right amount of attention on the right things, you can begin to see potential consequences before they occur and take steps to prevent unintended or negative consequences. How's it going? This is your Supply Chain Pro here, and in today's video, we will be exploring the art of being proactive. The information covered in this video is intended to be applied at the workplace. However, the principles can still be applied to many tasks in our personal life as well. This is not only general workplace advice, but it's also general life advice. The art of being proactive doesn't just happen overnight because we want it to. The art of being proactive is developed over long periods of time in which the person can construct a logical understanding of cause and effect. The first step in the art of being proactive is to pay attention and take ownership for an item or process. Paying attention to whatever it is you're focusing on allows you to begin building a base level of understanding on the topic. For today's video, we are going to use the example of making a pot of coffee. This is not the quick and easy single-serve cup, but a pot of coffee from grounds in a coffee maker with a filter. Let's say that today is your first day on the job. You may walk into the break room, you may be thirsty. You may observe an experienced employee remove the old grounds and filter from the coffee pot. You see him fill the machine with water. He then obtains the filter and then scoops 3 measurements of grounds into the filter. The filter is then placed into the machine and the start button is pressed. As the new employee, you have seen the process now, and you have paid attention, and you are simply observing how it is done. The second step of being proactive is getting hands-on with the item or the process. The more that you work with something, the more familiar that you become with the item. Step number 2 continues to build your experience and your understanding. Using the coffee pot example over the next few months, you continue to observe experienced employees making pots of coffee using the same technique over and over again. You muster up the courage one day to try and repeat the same steps that you see before. You empty the old grounds and the filter, you fill the maker with water, you obtain a new filter, 3 scoops of grounds are placed into the filter, you insert the filter into the coffee maker and then press start. You are able to successfully complete this by yourself, and you build confidence in this next step. The third step after hands-on familiarity is learning to troubleshoot the item or the process. If you are the type that sees something that is broken or not working, and you can only report the problem, you are holding yourself back from becoming proactive. There are times that it is recommended to refer to authorities, especially in situations in which there are consequences that could be severe, such as impacting the health and the safety of another employee, or if something were to have a large financial impact if it is broken or goes wrong. You may want to only report it to the authority in this situation. If you have a basic understanding of how something works, you can begin troubleshooting or trying different techniques to fix whatever problem you're encountering. Troubleshooting is a type of independent growth that an individual can do on their own. If something is broken and it's already not working properly, gently trying different configurations or techniques with the item or process may result in fixing the problem. Even if you cannot fix the problem, the very process of disassembling or looking at the item or the process will help you better understand the inner workings and intricacies involved. Using our coffee pot as an example, let's say that one day the coffee pot stopped working. You follow the process as you always have, beginning by removing the old grounds and the filter. You fill the machine with water, you obtain a new filter, you place 3 scoops of grounds into the filter, insert the filter into the machine, and then you press start. But today you notice that there's no coffee after pressing start, and you observe the machine is making the same noises as it normally does. However, there is no coffee coming out of the drip. After a few moments, you continue to double check and review the components to make sure that you did everything correctly and you can't find the solution to the issue. You unplug and then turn off the coffee pot and begin to disassemble the easy-to-reach covers and components. As you do this, you observe a buildup of hardened coffee ground debris, blocking the area where the coffee exits the machine and drips into the pot. You obtain a small tool and clean out the old coffee grounds that are blocking the drip hole. You reassemble the coffee maker, follow the process again, and upon hitting start, your coffee maker is producing coffee again. You exit the room with your hot coffee in hand and a smile of confidence and satisfaction on your face as you have given your coworkers back their morning caffeine. As you can see, the 3 previous steps are all about building knowledge of the item or the task at hand. You start off observing, and then doing, and then troubleshooting. Each step builds on itself, and it's very challenging to just jump straight into troubleshooting when you've never done the process before. It is at this point that you can begin applying your knowledge of the item or the process and predict the consequences of future changes on the item or the process based on your previous experience, knowledge, and understanding. Using the coffee pot as an example, let's say that the management team is cutting costs and mandates that from now on, all pots of coffee will only have 1 scoop of coffee grounds. You, understanding how the coffee machine heats up the water and passes through the filter and the grounds, understand that the coffee with 1 scoop will be much less potent and taste more watered down, and you can predict an estimate of how this change will impact the end result. Let's say that management decides to continue their cost savings push. While not knowing anything about the coffee maker, management decides to discontinue the purchase and the use of the coffee filter, as they view it as an optional accessory. Since you have done all the prerequisite steps before this, you will understand that the quality of the coffee without a filter will be unquestionably poor. You have the ability to provide proactive feedback to the leadership team because you have a depth of working knowledge on the coffee maker. You can, with confidence, advise that this plan won't work and provide additional insight that management never could. This is truly cause and effect. While this coffee maker example may seem simple, the principle does scale to larger and more significant processes. Using an example from the warehouse, having an understanding of how a case moves through the warehouse management system from receipt to put away to storage to picking to processing and finally to shipment can allow an employee to begin proactively predicting how changes to the process could impact basic inventory functions. Again, cause and effect. Or maybe you're a customer service representative who has spent hundreds of hours on the phone talking to clients and understanding what customers view positively or negatively through your dialogue, through troubleshooting, and through your experiences over the phone. If your company that you work for wants to make a change to one of its most popular policies, you, applying the 3 previous steps, would be qualified to give the company proactive guidance on how the customers will respond to the change. Again, cause and effect. This aspect of job performance really scales with time and consistency. When you look at employees who have been with the same organization for more than a decade, they have a depth of knowledge that very few other employees will have. Use this tool as a way for you to grow in your career at your job. It's easy to apply our knowledge and think that we can know everything at times. However, presenting what you know with humility and collaboration is the best way forward to solve your work-related problems and the changes proactively rather than waiting for your problems to appear and dealing with them after the fact. Leadership would do well to listen to the experience of others, as well as embody the 3 steps of the process so they can be proactive as well. If you have a great, a terrible, or a unique proactive problem-solving experience at your job, put it in the comments below. If you found value in the content of this video, like and subscribe. This is your Supply Chain Pro, out.